Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, AmusedJester. My name is Junior, and today we're going to be reviewing something from Hasbro, Star Wars TVC. Again, this is from the Star Wars Attack of the Clones, and this is Shaak, and there she is up in the front of the card back, and there's the back of the card back, and a little bit of a blurb on who she is, and this is VC 384. So let me go ahead and take her out of packaging, and we will take a look a little bit on the figure. Alright, so there she is out of packaging, and as usual with the 3.75 TVC, I'm a big proponent and a very big endorser that they would bring this over to the Black Series. The fact that they come with an unlit lightsaber and a lit one, and I don't have to deal with plugging it in and everything and possibly breaking that small point. And we'll take a look at the hilt of the lightsaber. There you go. There's Shaak's saber. Nicely translucent blue lightsaber with its light drawn. So Shaak, I'm so glad to have gotten her because she is going to replace the one that I just got a recent representation of her in the 3.75 line, the old one and everything. So I'm glad that I got her. I just reviewed her a few months ago with the Black Series, and I was really happy with that. But this was what I was waiting for. Is basically the TVC version. I don't know why I'm having a difficulty focusing on the face. There you go. Wow. Look at the detail on the lips. They have her lower lips highlighted like a lip gloss. That's freaking amazing. Like I said, just concentrate on the face. Everything else, doesn't really matter. At least not for me. Of course, I like the fact that this part has a printed soft pliable rubber, while this is cloth, and this is also cloth, so that's a nice mix. And for her, it really kind of works. Look at how well this cloth Jedi robe is. It doesn't look puffy like I'm used to with the other Jedi. Let's bring it out a little bit and compare. So one of their newest releases, this is oh shoot, I forgot his name now. Jedi Master Saul. Compare her robe to him. Right? Look at that. What's going on? Why is her robe much more closer to her body? Okay, looks like the stitching is in front rather than off to the side. I don't know if that helps it. I also brought out Kenobi, and Kenobi is even more recent than Soul. And look, I have his robe out of his body because it just feels puffy to me. So I'm not really too happy with how his robe came out. So please excuse me that we'll have to put his robe on so we can compare. The feeling I remember handling Kenobi's robe is very similar to Soul, where it still feels a little bit puffy for me. That's why I have him, and I've been kind of messing around with him, having him on the Millennium Falcon that I'm building or printing. That's why, and I have him seated. And it's just puffy. It really is. Look. However I arrange it, right? It's very similar to Soul's cloak in terms of the design. But so what happened with Shaak? Because I hope they are going to be doing this stitching for the rest of the Jedis, because this looks good. Okay, so it's got a stitch here from the back. This is just, look, one. Oh wait, it does have it here too. Look at how this thing is stitched. It's not as flared like this part right here. It's not as flared as the other Jedi. Let's see, it's this one. This one's about the same. I don't know. I have no idea why hers is not as badly puffy looking as the others. This side over here seems thinner than it is with Soul. Now I'm really please forgive me that I'm just basically going off on a tangent, because this robe really is quite striking to me. But it seems to be being held down a lot by this piece over here. So what I want to do right now is just basically take it off of this figure, and I want to try it on Soul. I can't try it on Kenobi because Kenobi has the flared robe here that's plastic. That's just going to hamper it completely. I'm sure we can take off this head, right? Most TVC you can. Yes, you can. This is on a separate plastic. I also kind of wanted to see what her body looks like anyway. That's why I'm gonna go ahead and take off her robe. So, and then we'll take off Soul. The cool thing about Soul is he doesn't have any of the flared ones. The only thing is he does have a much more wider body. So I don't even know if this is gonna fit him. But I just want to see how this robe fits into his body style. This whole thing, this fabric should be stretchable enough that I should be able to slide it in him, even though he has a wider body, and it should hug it nicer and everything. So let's see. Look at that. Doesn't that look much nicer than the robe that he has on right now, or that came with him? Like, the only problem that I'm seeing on this, look, even this is good. It's not as puffy as his original robe. The only thing I'm seeing as an issue right now is because this one flares. And I believe that because this is thinner, it's not flaring as much. But look, it almost, like, if you can somehow put this down like this, like with a dab of glue, that looks really good. This is, I hope in the future, this is the pattern that they're going to do with Jedi robes, because this is really good, I think. And it has nothing to do with this slit over here. They can make this hole, or maybe it does as well. I'm not sure. It's just, I just think that falls down much more nicer than what came with Shaak. And as a comparison, let's put on his robe on Shaak. Of course, this one's going to be slightly bigger than hers because it's coming off of a bigger body. But look, this is the first fault, is the puffy sleeves over here. And the second fault is it's just really, really big. Yeah. So yeah. So a big improvement, I believe, on the design of this robe. That's really good. All right, so here is Shakti's body. This actually works without the cloak and without this as well. Look at that. If you ever want to display Shakti as a more slimmer figure, I am almost tempted to get 2 of these, honestly. This looks so good, so good. Articulation wise, of course, with the head tentacles like this is going to be restrictive, and we already know there was the movement of a regular TVC. Ooh, look at that. Mine is kind of bent. It's okay. her legs can go up really well like that, off to the side really well. And we still have the thigh cut, so that's really good. We still have the knee bend, it's really good. The ankle can go down really well, go up really well, and have an ankle rocker. Yeah, I'm just really, because it's so small, I'm kind of really afraid to mess around with this figure too much. So let me put on her full clothing, full regalia, and let's go back to reviewing her as a regular figure. Alright, so there she is, fully clothed and everything. Oh, I forgot to look at the detail going on with this part of her dress. So yeah, I'm gonna jump a little bit on the value system in this one. I really should give it a value of 12. I really should. But for some reason, I'm feeling quite generous, and I want to give her a value of 13. This is a tier 1 character for me because, you know, she's a Jedi. I want Jedis in my collection. She's a vast improvement on the old one, which let's bring out now. This is my old representation of Shaak TV4 with his voluminous robe and everything. Very little articulation, but I did have of the other one, but I went ahead and chucked it because it just didn't. It just wasn't really good looking. Even though this is a solid figure, the fact that at least there's a lot of detail going on, it was a good standby while I was rating this figure, and this figure does not disappoint. So I think I'm giving it a higher value instead of just 12 to a 13, only because of the vast improvement over this figure, which she's now going to replace. Of course, I only hesitate to give it a value of 13 because of the price of $20 where TVC is now concerned, and I really don't want to give it a higher value system than 12. At this point, honestly, at a price range of 20, the value system should be going down, which is what's happening with my Hasbro G.I. Joe Classifieds. And even that's even the reason why the whole line of G.I. Joe Classifieds has degraded for me. Instead of being the top action figure line, it's now been taken over by Mattel's Masters of the Universe, Masterverse collection, because of the higher price range. And this, because of the higher price range of the TVC, technically it should be lowering down the value, which is why I'm quite surprised that I'm actually increasing the value. But aside from the fact that she's replacing an older figure in my collection quite successfully, I'm actually also very impressed with the new robe, and I don't know if they're gonna carry it over to the newer Jedis. I feel like this robe is more successful than the older one. The only flaw in this figure right now is the fact that this unlit lightsaber, I feel like it's not secure, because when maybe it is. That's kind of weird, because when I looked at this one, it did punch through. Initially this seemed hollow, this hole over here, but I guess it punched through and there was just a small skin. Nope, it's still kind of loose, and I'm afraid that I might lose this because, you know, it's a small accessory. That's the only flaw in this figure right now, and that might only be in my copy. But the face printing on this one is so gorgeous, and I'm amazed at the scale of it that they're able to do it. I'm really quite happy with this one. So I believe I will retain the value 13 on this one, even though the price is quite high. Very happy with this figure, and I hope when you get yours you will be happy with it as well too. But that's it for my review of Shaak T from Hasbro's Star Wars Attack of the Clones, another figure that was revealed to us during the HasLab campaign for the gunship, Republic gunship. So I'm quite happy with it. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys on my next review. Bye.